The Imperial Navy is a very tightly regulated force when it comes to the classes of ships that are permitted to be built. While this assures quality, sanctity, and uniformity in the Navy, it can create several technical gaps within its doctrine that require solutions to be devised. Vessels in the cruiser classes and larger are heavily restricted, but due to raw pragmatism, the light cruisers have far fewer restrictions on design. The Endeavour family of vessels was created out of necessity to replace damaged ships of the line with something more durable and conventional than the Dauntless, which fares poorly in cruiser formations. Foregoing the enormous prow armament of the Dauntless, the tech priests of Voss focused on broadside firepower. The result was a trio of ships that could provide cruiser-level firepower while retaining the high maneuverability of a light cruiser. Some vessels were even designed with the heavy prow armor of their larger cousins, permitting the mounting of powered ram spikes as well, though the handling of the vessels suffered after this upgrade. While new designs are rarely accepted throughout the Imperium, it did not take long for these three classes to be quickly adopted in the Imperial Navy. During the Armageddon War, these vessels proved vital in reinforcing formations that had suffered under constant Orc attack. Unlike the Dauntless, the Endeavour family found itself serving as escorts for larger cruisers, or forming into squadrons of similar ships to hunt enemy vessels. This big guns philosophy has made the vessels very popular in Battlefleet Baka, and their advanced systems and design is something the Adeptus Mechanicus enjoys as well. The Endeavour family has three classes of light cruiser: the Endeavour, the Endurance, and the Defiant, all built off of a standard design template designed for easy modification and a certain level of modularity. One of the more ingenious designs of the vessel is the midship corridor, which was made to make the vessel more defensible in case of an enemy boarding action. With these pre-made defenses, these classes have far less to fear from being boarded by enemy ships, giving them more incentive to get close to the enemy for optimal firing solutions. The Endeavour was the first designed ship of the trio, a simple concept of heavy broadside firepower on a maneuverable platform made manifest. The Endeavour is equipped with two standard macro cannon batteries on its port and starboard, with a small macro cannon turret installed in the prow. Two torpedo launchers grace the front of the vessel, and a crew of nearly 70,000 men the ship. These vessels are so common that some have even come into the hands of particularly wealthy rogue traders. The Endurance is not a complicated vessel, simply an endeavor that it's had its broadside macro cannons replaced with lance batteries. While it is an excellent ship hunter, they were never made in the same numbers as the Endeavor, and as a result, the Endurances are likely found providing fire support to larger cruisers or a pair of Endeavors. These vessels have proven themselves in the crucible of war time and time again, to the point where the Adeptus Mechanicus make their own versions of the vessel in masse. The Defiant is the least common but still an essential design of the trio of ships. While it lacks the direct firepower of its sister classes, it serves a rare and critical role that no other vessel can manage, that of a light fleet carrier able to support an entire fleet of ships that may not have the resources to procure larger carriers. While it is equipped with a large lance turret on its prow, it lacks the torpedo tubes of the other two designs. The crew instead dedicated to the maintenance and rearmament of strike craft in its launch bays. Unlike its siblings, the Defiants are usually found in the rear of the formation, supporting other carrier craft, or as a carrier group all to itself, far from enemy fire. There are too many heroic vessels in this class to count, but some are notable for their service during the Third War of Armageddon. The Adlibris, an Endurance-class cruiser, destroyed 9 Orc escorts before its retreat. The Forebearer and Archangel Defiant-class cruisers sacrificed themselves over St. Joan's Dock, destroying the kill cruiser Gimzag's Hammer and crippling 2 terror ships in the process. Fourth Wall Break. This vessel is a fascinating one in the history of Battlefleet Gothic. While the rules have existed for the ships since the Armada book, the miniatures were never actually released to the public. The molds broke when they finally managed to make them, and they never decided to make any more. So it effectively left the community to kit bash their own ships. And since they looked so different from the Dauntless, many kit bashes just didn't have the same feel as the Endurance and the Endeavor and the Defiant were supposed to have. The first ones that were ever actually really made were made by fans that actually had their own custom molds. And only very late in the era of Battlefleet Gothic did anyone actually really have these ships, simply due to it was down to the fans to actually produce them. Now we can get them with very little effort thanks to the wonders of 3D printing, but such a great series of ships was slept on for so long just because nobody could get the miniatures. It's actually very sad that GW just let this miniature languish because it's a really, really powerful little ship. Personally, I adore these ships. I use them extensively whenever I use the Sigmatum Solar fleet list. I have a ton of them. I adore them. They are fantastic. Don't sleep on them. If you're thinking about building an Imperial Navy, 100% get yourself some Endurances, Endeavors, and Defiance. You will love them. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all again in the next video.